this is MEGAREVO and Product Engineer Doris. The video is about the operation of MPS series hybrid inverter. We make a lot of animations to show the energy flowing, which help you quickly understand the operation logic. Okay, the first part when it comes to connecting the utility grid. The MPS always works in the grid following mode. It's seamlessly adapting to the grid's voltage and frequency. So whether the grid is stable or weak, MPS always provides the reliable solution to you. The MPS connects to the grid, PV array, battery and loads, forming a standard on-grid and off-grid DC-coupled continuous power supply energy storage system. The PV panels are connected to the MPPT modules built into the DC cabinet of MPS. Critical loads connected to the MPS load port can achieve automatic switching between on-grid and off-grid power supply. The standard operation of MPS meets the requirements of most application scenarios. MPS enables precise control of charging and discharging power from grid to the inverter. Supports sending grid charging and discharging commands for different time periods in 1 day or 1 week. If the local grid prohibits photovoltaic power from feeding back, the system supports anti-reverse power flow functionality. For projects that require loads to be directly connected to the grid-connected off-grid energy storage system composed of MPS can operate under various operating logics. The grid supplies power to both general load and the system connected to the MPS. The grid only supplies power to general load. Charging from the grid to the MPS system is restricted. The grid and the system connected to the MPS jointly supply power to general load. Grid power is limited. All power to general load is provided by the MPS. When energy is sufficient, the MPS supplies general load and sells excess energy to the grid. For applications where the grid is connected to the general load and local regulations prohibit PV power from feeding into the grid, the system supports anti-backflow protection at the system level. A power meter monitors the grid and sends real-time data to the control system to prevent energy from flowing back to the grid. If your project already has a grid-tied PV inverter and you want to add a storage system, you can connect the PV inverter to the grid side of the MPS, or connect the PV inverter to the load side of the MPS. You can choose to connect the PV inverter together with the critical loads. When PV generation is abundant, the grid-tied PV inverter powers the loads and also charges the battery through the MPS load port. When PV generation is insufficient, the PV inverter and MPS work together to power the loads. You can also choose to connect the PV inverter to the grid side. Scenario 1. PV generation is abundant, the PV inverter powers the MPS and sells energy to the grid. Scenario 2. PV generation is sufficient and energy from DC side of the MPS is inverted and exported to the grid. Scenario 3. Both the PV inverter and the grid supply energy to the MPS. For more complex setups, you can configure each part of the AC coupled system to operate as needed, as long as the energy flow is logical. When the grid falls, the MPS enters off-grid mode, VF mode, providing high-quality electricity with stable voltage and frequency to power the loads. To switch between grid and a diesel generator, An external ATS, automatic transfer switch, is required. The main input connects to the grid and the backup input connects to the generator. When the grid falls, the ATS switches to the backup input. The ATS sends a signal to the MPS indicating the status of the main and backup power inputs. The MPS sends a dry contact signal to start the diesel generator. The system switches from grid power to diesel generator power. When the ATS detects that grid has been restored, it automatically switches back to the grid. This transition follows a similar process as shown in the demo animation. Okay, let's look at some different system architectures. The MPS supports standalone operation. In standard mode, if the grid falls, the PV and the storage system coordinate to ensure stable power supply to critical loads. If there are general loads connected to the grid side, the MPS will not power them during the grid outage. If the PV inverter is connected to the load side of the MPS, it can continue to operate even during a grid failure or long-term off-grid condition. If the PV inverter is connected to the grid side of the MPS, it can only operate when the grid is available. All of the above MPS applications require control by our self-developed energy management system. For more complex application scenarios, please contact MEGAREVO. We will provide the most cost-effective customized solution for your project. Okay, that's all for this video. We have already shown all the basic operation of MPS series hybrid inverter. If you want to know more, go to megarevo.com. See you!